This horror story takes place in the 80s in a small, secluded town in South Africa. As of the time, I was the only child of my parents who were farmers. Being the only child, I was spoiled rotten and would always cause trouble for my parents. My mother would always protect me from my angry father whenever I had done something wrong and he wanted to beat me. At the age of 12, I began smoking and would spy on my mother whenever she was bathing. One time, I was caught by my father and was beaten, to the point I couldn't stand up from my bed for a year. But this didn't help matters at all, but instead lit up a deep hatred in my heart towards my parents. When I finally recovered after a year, I began plotting to kill my father so I could have my mother to myself. I went to the market and bought a bottle of rat poison to put in his food, in order to not be suspected of his sudden death. I decided to put on an act. I pretended to have changed to gain everyone's admiration and trust. For a month, I would follow my parents to the farm to work with them, and I stopped spying on my mother whenever she was bathing. I would always listen and do whatever they asked of me. My parents became very happy, thinking I had changed for good. My father also believed that the beating from a year ago had changed me, not knowing I had other plans in mind. It wasn't easy to pretend like I had changed, but I had to keep up the act so as not to be suspected when he dies. One night, my father called me to his room and asked me to sit down, that there was something he needed to tell me. Immediately, I sat down. He began telling me about a tragic story that happened to his friend a long time ago when he was still a very young boy. According to my father, he once had a friend who people addressed as Lubanzi, the wind drummer. Lubanzi was no ordinary drummer. His rhythms were said to make the trees dance and rain fall. According to my father, he was the pride of their village but also its greatest fool. Lubanzi was a man known as a high-spirited fellow. Lubanzi had always confided in my father and the rest of the villagers about venturing into the forbidden cave in the outskirts of the town, rumored to be housed by resentful spirits. Let's talk about the cave. In the early 40s, the cave was a spot where travellers and other villagers would rest in whenever they were tired from travelling and needed to rest, and my townspeople, known for their hospitality, would bring food to them. On a rainy day, some travellers stopped at the cave to take shelter from the rain, but the next day, after the rain stopped, they were found dead by my townspeople. Since that day, no one ever dared to enter the cave due to the strange occurrence. Soon people started going missing inside. The cave and the ones who returned after entering the cave either went insane or mute. No one truly knew what was going on inside the cave or how these people ended up this way. According to my father, Lubanzi was a man of trust issues, and he believed the elders in the village were lying, as he himself had not witnessed such an incident before. An elder, after hearing Lubanzi speak about the cave, warned him, "Do not take your drum into the cave. That is a place for silence and spirits." But Lubanzi scorned at him, saying, "If the spirits dance, let them dance to my drum." That same day, late at night, Lubanzi set on his mission of uncovering the secrets of the cave. He entered into the cave with his drum in hand. He lit no torch. Instead, playing his drum, he followed the echo of his own beats deeper into the belly of the forest. At first, everything seemed normal inside the cave, and Lubanzi cursed the villagers in his mind and pictured the faces of the villagers when they'll see him return safe and sound.
But suddenly, ancient handprints appeared on the walls, and shadows began to move inside the cave. Since the cave was very dark, Lubanzi didn't notice and continued playing his drum. Then silence fell. Ghostly figures appeared, formless in front of him, with bright light that could make anyone go blind. Their eyes hollow and glowing, they surrounded him, and they whispered to him, "You called us, now play, until the end of time." Lubanzi tried to flee, but his hands were stuck to the drum. His body froze. His soul was being sucked by the spirits, beats by beats. Villagers say the cave now hums with his drum, and if you follow the sound, your heart will start beating in rhythm, then stop beating, forever. After I heard the story, I rushed to my friends, father, to confirm what I had just heard, and it was exactly as my father had told me. Not wanting to end up like Lubanzi, I decided to change for the better. Now, as an old man and a father myself, I've suddenly become grateful to Lubanzi, and I felt sorry for him as well. His life had to end so tragically, but at the same time, it saved me from walking down the wrong path and ending up with a worse fate. And I'll forever be grateful to my father for telling me this one story that saved me.